Lamentations Chapter 3. I am the man who has seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He has driven me and brought me into darkness and not light. Surely against me he has turned his hand again and again all the day. He has wasted my flesh and my skin, he has broken my bones. He has built up a siege against me and encircled me with gall and travail. He has made me dwell in dark places, like those who have long been dead. He has walled me about so that I cannot go forth, he has made my bronze chain heavy. Indeed, when I cry out and call for help, he shuts out my prayer. He has walled in my ways with hewn stone, he has made my paths crooked. He is to me like a bear lying in wait, like a lion in hidden places. He has turned aside my ways and torn me to pieces, he has made me desolate. He bent his bow and set me as a target for the arrow. He has caused the arrows of his quiver to enter my inward parts. I have become a derision to all my people, their mocking song all the day. He has filled me with bitterness, he has made me drunk with wormwood. He has also crushed my teeth with gravel, he has covered me with ashes. And you have removed my soul far from peace, I have forgotten prosperity. And I said, my strength has perished as well as my hope in Jehovah. Remember my affliction and my wandering, the wormwood and the gall. My soul remembers them well and is bowed down within me. This I recall to my heart, therefore I have hope. It is Jehovah's loving kindness that we are not consumed, for his compassions do not fail. They are new every morning, great is your faithfulness. Jehovah is my portion, says my soul, therefore I hope in him. Jehovah is good to those who wait on him, to the soul that seeks him. It is good for one to hope, and to do so in silence, for the salvation of Jehovah. It is good for a man to bear the yoke in his youth. Let him sit alone and be silent, because he has laid it upon him. Let him put his mouth in the dust, perhaps there is hope. Let him give his cheek to him who strikes him, let him be filled with reproach. For the Lord will not cast off forever. But even if he causes grief, he will have compassion according to the multitude of his loving kindness. For he does not afflict willingly or grieve the children of men. The crushing under his foot of all the prisoners of the earth. The turning aside of the justice due a man before the face of the Most High. The wronging of a man in his cause, will not the Lord see all these? Who is he who says, and it comes to pass, what the Lord has not commanded? Out of the mouth of the Most High do there not proceed evil things and something good? Why does a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Let us examine our ways and try them, and let us turn again to Jehovah. Let us lift up our heart with our hands unto God in the heavens. We have transgressed and rebelled, you have not pardoned. You have covered yourself with anger and have pursued us, you have slain, you have not spared. You have covered yourself with a cloud that prayer might not pass through. You have made us offscouring and refuse in the midst of the peoples. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and the pit are upon us, devastation and destruction. My eye runs down with streams of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. My eye pours forth and does not stop, there is no cessation. Until Jehovah looks down and sees from the heavens. My eye pains my soul because of all the daughters of my city. They have hunted me down like a bird, they who are my enemies without cause. They have brought my life to its end in the pit and have thrown a stone upon me. Water streamed over my head, I said, I have been cut off. I called upon your name, O Jehovah, from the lowest pit. You have heard my voice, do not hide your ear at my breathing, at my cry. You drew near in the day that I called upon you, you said, do not fear. Lord, you have pleaded my soul's case, you have redeemed my life. You have seen, O Jehovah, my oppression, judge my cause. You have seen all their vengeance, all their plans, against me. You have heard their reproach, O Jehovah, all their plans against me. The lips of those who rise up against me and their meditation against me all the day. Look upon their sitting down and their rising up, I am their mocking song. You will render to them a recompense, O Jehovah, according to the work of their hands. You will give them hardness of heart, your curse be upon them. You will pursue them in anger and will destroy them from under the heavens of Jehovah. Lamentations Chapter 4. How the gold has become dim. How the most pure gold has changed. The stones of the sanctuary lie poured out at the head of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how they are esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of a potter. Even the jackals present the breast, they nurse their young ones, but the daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the sucking child cleaves to the roof of his mouth for thirst, the little ones ask for bread, but no one breaks it for them. Those who fed on delicacies are desolate in the streets, those who were brought up in scarlet embrace dung heaps. And the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the sin of Sodom, which was overthrown as in a moment, and no hands were laid on her. Her nobles were purer than snow, they were whiter than milk, they were redder in body than corals, their figure was like sapphire. Their visage is darker than black coal, they are not recognized in the streets. Their skin has shriveled up on their bones, it has dried up, it has become like wood. Those who were slain by the sword are better than those slain by famine, for these pine away stricken through, because of the lack of the produce of the field. The hands of compassionate women have boiled their own children, they have become their food in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Jehovah has accomplished his wrath, he has poured out his burning anger. And he has kindled a fire in Zion, and it has consumed its foundations. The kings of the earth did not believe, neither did any of the inhabitants of the world, that the adversary and the enemy would enter into the gates of Jerusalem. It is because of the sins of her prophets, and the iniquities of her priests, who have shed the blood of the righteous in her midst. They have wandered about blind in the streets, they are polluted with blood, so that men cannot touch their garments. They cried out to them, Depart. Unclean. Depart, depart, do not touch. When they fled away and wandered about, men said among the nations, they will no longer sojourn there. The anger of Jehovah has scattered them, he will no longer regard them. They did not honor the priests, nor did they favor the elders. Our eyes do yet fail, looking in vain for our help, in our watching we watched for a nation that could not save. They hunted our steps, so that we cannot walk in our streets, our end drew near, our days were fulfilled, for our end had come. Our pursuers were swifter than the eagles of heaven, they hotly pursued us on the mountains, they lay in wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Jehovah, has been captured in their pits, of whom we said, Under his shadow we will live among the nations. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, who dwells in the land of Uz. Yet the cup will pass through to you also, you will become drunk and make yourself naked. The punishment for your iniquity has been accomplished, O daughter of Zion, he will no longer take you into exile. But he will punish your iniquity, O daughter of Edom, he will uncover your sins. Lamentations Chapter 5. Remember, O Jehovah, what has come upon us, look and see our reproach. Our inheritance has been turned over to strangers, our houses to foreigners. We are orphans without father, our mothers are like widows. We have drunk our water for money, our wood comes to us at a price. On our necks are our pursuers, we are weary, we have no rest. We have given our hand to Egypt and to Assyria, so as to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers sinned and they are not, and we ourselves bear their iniquities. Slaves rule over us, there is no one to deliver us from their hand. We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sword from the wilderness. Our skin is black like an oven because of the burning heat of famine. They have ravished the women in Zion, the virgins in the cities of Judah. Princes were hanged by them. The faces of the elders were not honored. The young men bore the mill, and the young boys stumbled under the wood. The old men have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart has ceased, our dance has been turned into mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us! For we have sinned. Because of this our heart is faint, because of these things our eyes are dim. Because of Mount Zion, which is desolate, foxes rove in it. You, O Jehovah, abide forever, your throne is from generation to generation. Why do you forget us forever and forsake us for so long a time? Turn to us, O Jehovah, and we will be turned, renew our days as before. Or have you utterly rejected us? Are you exceedingly angry with us?